Hi, my name is Rhonda Levesque, the founder of the Fresh Inspiration Show. Welcome in, and I can't wait for you to find out what it's all about. In my life, I never understood that I could be a leader. Not at all. I didn't even have vocals to speak. I closed myself off fully. And that was the beginning of my thyroid journey. I was about 4 years old, sitting on the couch with my grandma. My grandma told me I was going to pass away with some kind of family disease. Now, I'm going to keep going on with this story before we get into our 9 o'clock expert pod. I'm coming in now, not just as the host of the Fresh Inspiration Show, but right now for a moment, I'm going to hold the space as the energy revitalizer and the mindset to freedom. I want the freedom in the body, vitality, and I'm speaking to you out there that are feeling stuck in your cash flow. I'm going to bring that all together. When I sat on my couch, my grandma's couch at 4 years old, I truly believed that my grandma was missing a beat by telling me what my grandpa was passing away at that point, which I was so scared. You know, being 4 and seeing this happen. Now that I'm going to be 51 next month, I'm starting to see that I'm back to my kid and my emotions are strong as my 51-year-old going to be next month. But my spirit and where I fit in is that I remember being that young and being that scared about health. And so I want to make sure that you get into your authenticity space so that you can truly feel what you want to clear today. Because at 4 years old, when I was told that I couldn't stop any of the chronic disease that was happening within my family, I got to work. You know what I did? I got a big old plate and I put peas and they were rolling all around there, these green things. And you know what? I couldn't stand them. I couldn't stand the peas at all. But I ate them. Now, as a health coach at this time in my space, I would tell you to never do this. You want to make sure you eat what you love so that you can level it up as you go along. Your taste buds change and your motivation. But I ate those peas and I said, this was never going to happen to me. Now, I knew I was going to pass away. At 5 years old, I believe that I was going to pass away at some point, but I didn't want to pass away from this stuff that if I could stop myself at a young age, I wanted to have a nice, vibrant, less pains in my body that I saw my family have. So I went along in this journey, eating healthy, but there were two of me. The first one was in front of everybody. I would act like I did when I was 4 years old, eating healthy in front of everybody, acting nice in front of everybody. Now it's my other space. And I really want to connect that with where you're coming in today, and no judgment, but just real good authenticity about a good check. My other side was the one that I was struggling with. So if you find yourself in this space, especially with the COVID-19, it's bringing up some things. This other person was the person in the background here. And it was all the chatter and everything that's going on. That's why I made this show. It's because I want this chatter to be cleared. And so as soon as I started acknowledging that I was saying bad things about people, as soon as they would turn their back, I would just say these things to make myself feel good. And I didn't understand that I could actually clear that because it never made me feel good. It never gave me purpose. I felt almost embarrassed. I would turn red when people looked at me. I only had one friend. And now this isn't to say this right now, to say poor me, because that is not what this is about. There's no judgment, but there's learnings. Also, when people weren't around, I would go into the cupboard, and way, way up above were all this junk food and all this chatter that was going on in my head. All I would do is keep reaching for this junk food until it numbed me. And then I'd fall asleep. And I'd wake up and I'd feel okay. And I'd have that reset for a moment. So as my body was gaining weight and as I was working out, because I worked out since I was 14, I would kind of balance it. So I'd have these two people. One was the upfront person that understood how to play the game. Do you find yourself in that space? Like you know how to play the game. Everything's looking good. But with this new stuff coming into the world that we are recognizing, and that we are a changed world right now. And I was talking to somebody who will be in one of our experts pods later. We did a Facebook Live this week, and she was discussing that she doesn't believe it's a change. So I can't wait to have that kind of conversation in the expert pod. But I see this as a change. And so today, think about the stories that you have. Think about the two people that you want to bring together, that you want to feel in alignment. Because when you got that, you got it. So stay with us throughout the day. Find your space. Find your coach that you like or your mentor or more than one. All their names are available for you. Connect. I got the chills. I got the chills. Connect. We need our support. We need to have that drumming. You know the one. Dun, 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 dun. That's mine. See me playing air guitar. I want to play and have fun. By the end of the day, 2 to 3, you're going to be seeing this wild woman that I am. But right now, I'm so grounded and focused and making sure that you can visualize you and what's the potential and the stress that you want to get out of right now. What's that stress? Name it. Don't name it. Feel it. Let everybody clear it for you. People are going to be coming at different angles. I'm going to be inviting in some new ladies in just a few minutes so that you can feel safe.
That's what I want to do with you this morning, is run through an exercise that will help empower you through self-exploration. I call it a self-appraisal. So get ready to write, and I'd like you to answer. There's 2 parts to this, and each part has 2 parts. So question 1 is, what I want you to write is, I just did a brain dump. I can't remember. I remember. What is one kind and loving thing that you did for another person in the last 2 days? So go ahead and write. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write down one kind and loving thing you did for another person in the last couple of days. Six seconds. And that's time. Now what I'd like you to do is repeat the same question, but make it about yourself. So what were the ways, what is one way that you were kind and loving to yourself in the last 2 days? When were you kind and loving, and how did you do that for yourself? So go ahead and write again. I'll time you for 30 seconds.
Carolyn, that's a hard one, Mama.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Mm.
It's hard to see positive about ourselves.
Yeah, and I try and live in that, you know?
I
But that's
know.
my, I'm thinking. I think I got it, but I wish it was more than what I'm writing down, my friend. I love that question. Now
I
that
can't get it to stop. There we go.
yeah, I wish I now it helps me open up to see more that I can do. I love that question. Thank you.
You're welcome. I want you to take those two questions and I want you to look at your answers. I want you to realize that that's who you are at your very core. You are that kind and loving person who does kind and loving acts for others and for yourself. When we're done, sometime when you have some meditation time or just time to sit and be quiet with yourself, I want you to reflect on who you are at your very core. This is who you were intended to be, and this is who you are. If you couldn't think of something, I can certainly relate, especially if you couldn't think about something kind that you've done for yourself. When I first got sober, they have a routine of looking at yourself, and I came up with 2 full notebook pages full of bad things about myself, and I couldn't come up with one good thing. I was pretty much down on myself, obviously. If you take this exercise and keep doing it, if you're down on yourself, keep doing this exercise, because eventually it will turn around and you will find those kind and loving things that you do. The second half of the exercise is to take a look at some of your bad behavior. Now, unkind, unloving, and maybe even mean behavior. We do this with an air of curiosity, not of shame, not of embarrassment. The reason that we're doing it is to identify things that we would like to change about ourselves. So here's the question to ask. What is one kind and loving, what is one unkind, unloving, and even mean thing that you did to another in the last 2 days? So go ahead and start with your 30 seconds. I'll time it and write one unkind, unloving, and maybe even mean thing that you did.
Wow, Carolyn, that's an interesting one. I'm digging deep for that one. I've been working on my kindness, but there must be something there, huh?
Yes. I'm going to cancel this out now at 1 second. So that's time. When we look at sincerely look at this with no shame and no embarrassment, but look with that curiosity. I want to give you an example of what I discovered about myself. One day, I was eating my favorite ice cream, Haagen-Dazs chocolate. And I got to thinking about a time when I was married, this was maybe 20 years ago or so. I used to demand that we bought vanilla ice cream, my favorite at the time, and my husband could not do his favorite ice cream, which was Haagen-Dazs chocolate, because it was too expensive for us. I think back on that, and I think about, that was really a mean thing to do to him, control in that manner. the solution would have simply been to buy 2 things of ice cream. But I didn't think of that in those days. I was too concentrating on myself. So that was one mean thing, an example of a mean thing I did to someone. So now the second part of the question that I'd like you to ask yourself is, what is one mean, maybe mean, unkind, unloving thing you've done to yourself in the last 2 days? And I'll time you for 30 minutes to look at that. Maybe it's that you didn't pay attention to your inner voice. Maybe it's that you put yourself down as not being good enough. You've got 12 seconds left. And that's time. What? That's time.
Hey, Carolyn, I have a question.
Yes.
Would, in this, because I know I need to forgive, we're all in this forgiveness area.
Right.
So when I am feeling like one of the things that I may be being, that I did something that wasn't so nice to myself, in that area, would it fit as being hard on myself for something that I did? I was expecting something or a certain outcome to happen and it didn't, and so then it's like it wasn't words, but it was like that feeling, and that's, I think, could that fit in with what you're saying too? Because like maybe a bad behavior, not being nice to herself.
Yeah, we get a little bit of a resentment against ourselves, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And what we can do with that is look for the wound underneath the unkind, unloving, or mean behavior.
Okay.
There's always a wound under that. Now, think about your anger and resentment and know that underneath of those feelings or those behaviors are feelings such as hurt, disappointment, shame, humiliation, grief, loss, or the fear of loss. There are all these feelings that are underneath your anger and your resentment. Yeah. So I invite you to explore that. And when you realize what your feeling is underneath of that, show yourself some compassion. Have compassion for yourself, a wounded person.
I love that, Carolyn. And I hope that helps everybody.
And that compassion eventually morphs into forgiveness for yourself. What you do with compassion is you open your heart so there's a space into which forgiveness can flow.
Wow. I get that. And you know what I love about this exercise is that I like the first step of you thinking about somebody else so you don't think anything about yourself. So it's so easy to love on somebody at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then looking at, well, what did you do good for yourself? Like, what is that? And then I look for myself and I realized I have to one-up myself here. I need to start doing more stuff like what I do for others. So I like that approach you did.
Yes, thank you. It's a very revealing experiment or exercise. I certainly found myself becoming much more empowered when I realized this. When I realized what I'd done with my husband and my thing about what had to be my way, I realized I didn't want that. And so I became empowered to change that. And when I changed it, I really felt empowered because I had identified something about myself I didn't like and changed it.
Yeah.
There is nothing more empowering than that. So although this might seem like a daunting exercise, it really is freeing. It
I feel that.
frees your spirit when you can do this. So I invite you to try it.
Yeah. Now, if I see people in our Facebook group also, write whatever you want about this exercise. This exercise will help you feel lifted because you get to see both sides. So Carolyn, I'm so happy that you gave both sides to open up and see the things that we aren't doing for ourselves, or that the people that are really deep dealing with this, there's going to be some big things come out of this, huh, Carolyn?
Yes.
So that's why you do the yin and the yang, to make sure that it balances so people can feel that?
Very important to do the yin and the yang, and to balance out with the loving and the unloving. Because from the unloving comes loving.
You can't have both, huh, at the same time?
Not at the same time.
I love that. Thank you for your time, my friend. What expert pod are you in? Are you in at the 9 a.m. right after this?
I'm right after this.
Okay. Yeah. I can't wait for you to interact with the group. Thank you for your space. I so appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Namaste, my friend. All right, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this morning. We're getting you going. And what was really great about having Carolyn start is it got your mind starting to feel that, so you can put the feel, you can wake up those feelings, get your stirring going. We do a little dance here. And this is where we get the next spot, where we're going to go in at a deeper spiritual space, so that we can connect you with what Carolyn just worked on, and we opened up some stuff. Now we're going to have Denise Bichad. I love working with Denise. Something very special about her. And she's been told many times that she's the leader of the leaders. And she really is showing that these days. She's helping people get out of the space, that big scared factor. And when you know that you've got this, I got it, everything's going to be okay. That's what Denise does, just like what Carolyn did, but you're going to see Denise go at a different angle here. So we're awakening your central energy to love. Now, before I was even able to even be in front of you years ago, I didn't know how to get into the heart. I was very confused. And I understand Denise so much because Denise was in that space too. And so Denise later is going to be an expert pod, and you're going to get to know her more. But today she's going to lead our awakening in making sure that you get some really good focused meditation. Denise, you just released a book, and it's beautiful. The color blue that you have on today is incredible, my friend. And that's the color of your cover of your book. That's your artwork.
It's my artwork too.
Oh, I so appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So we'll learn more as we go into the expert pod. So my friend, I'm going to open up the space for you. And I know you probably want a little bit of silence before we get going, but I'm going to allow you to have the lead, my friend.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you all for being here. I wanted to start off by, first of all, thanking Carolyn, because she really opened up the door to how to be kind to ourselves. And what my journey has been about is going inward and learning to cultivate this relationship with your innermost being. And why is this so important? Because this is how we communicate with our own spirit. It's by getting quiet and coming into our center and begin to acknowledge the truth of who we are, which is love. So I'd like to start off by reading a poem from my book, and then we'll go into the meditation. This will kind of set the stage. But the poem is titled, I Am Love. So many things become aware to me when I open my heart for all to see. So much love for me is a part of me. Overwhelmed feelings of love flood my entire being. I am a being filled with love. When I take the time to notice how much I love myself, I become overwhelmed by compassion for all I have seen. Tears of sadness flow for the part of me that has been lost. Lost no more, for I feel the love of being in my body. Tears of sadness warm my blood, for I am finally feeling all the parts of me. I have grieved the love that has been inside of me. Home is where the heart is. And now I have come home to this place of glory that I've always had inside of my body. Here to stay in the grace of my being. I find solace in knowing I can be loved. Loved by me, being that resides in my body. I flow with love and grace for all to see. My heart responds to my thinking. It opens itself to receive the love of my eternal being. My heart responds to my being still. It pulses and vibrates a desire to express love. Expressing love, gratitude, and stardom. You see, my innermost being is housed inside of my body, present with what the heart is feeling. So I'd like you to just take a moment and close your eyes and take a deep breath, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. And I want you to think of one thing in your life that is working right now in this moment. And I want you to bring that into your heart. That one thing. And now I want you to bring your attention to the base of your spine, the root chakra, as we begin to ground in and connect to the most precious mother of all, is Mother Earth. And we bring that attention to the base of the spine, and I want you to imagine that you are your favorite tree. And that beautiful tree, strong, wise, and all-knowing. And that tree has a taproot. And we're going to bring that taproot down through the floor that you're sitting on. And as it begins to connect into the earth, wants to go to the core of the earth, where there's a sun, beautiful sun in the core of the earth. And that sun is radiating love and compassion and kindness. And this energy of Mother Earth is nurturing. And we just want to be held by her. And that ground, that taproot connects to the core of the earth, centering and feeling your body begin to relax. And as the feminine energy that we are, I invite you to come into your core, into your womb, into your stomach. And I want you to bring a line of energy from each one of your ovaries to come. A line of energy comes from the right side, connecting to your taproot. A line of energy from your left ovary, connecting to your taproot. There you go. Beautiful. And just begin to let all of your worries, all of your anxiety, all of the things of the world drain down into Mother Earth to be repurposed for the highest and best good of all of us. And as we connect one more time into Mother Earth, we're going to grow roots from the soles of our feet. And as these roots begin to grow from the soles of our feet, they become very prolific. And they grow. As soon as they hit the earth, they begin to expand 360 degrees around us, creating foundation. And that root system goes down 500 miles. So just imagine you know we're 500 miles. You're going to anchor yourself even more down into the earth, into your body. And I want you to begin to sip this energy of Mother Earth up through the root system coming from the soles of your feet. And begin to draw that energy up, sipping it, coming up through your feet, and into your knees, your hips. And it goes back down that grounding cord, back down to the core of the earth. And you sip that energy one more time, drawing it up to the soles of your feet, your knees, and your hips. And that energy circles back down. One more time. Begin to sip that energy up through your feet, into your knees. There you go, into your hips. And just let it go. And now this energy will continue to loop for the rest of the day, grounding you, connecting you with Mother Earth. And we're going to do one more thing that I don't normally do, but I'm feeling called to do it today. And I want you to imagine a circle of energy, 360 degrees around you, starting from your belly button, your navel. And I'm going to call this your concentric worry circle. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull in all of your worries. We're already draining it from the ovaries, but we're going to do one more piece, cleaning the aura here and bringing in all of this energy of all of these fears that are not even yours. And we're going to release this energy. So just begin to pull that worry circle in front and back, side to side. Letting all of that go. Beautiful. And now just let it go. Down that tap root. As if you're watching water go down a drain. Watch that energy of all of that fear and that anxiety go one more time. Keep your eye on it. And release. Beautiful. One more piece to ignite that central warrior. She loves this. And I want you to come into your heart center now. And in the center of your heart is your light. That light of your spirit that's always been. And I want you to focus on that light. And I want you to bring that line of energy of the light up through your throat chakra, through your third eye, which is in between your eyebrows, and out the top of your head. And you're going to connect your energy with pure source energy, whatever that may be for you. Connect to that pure source energy. And as you connect to that pure source energy, you bring that energy back down through your crown chakra, through your third eye, through your throat, into the heart. Feeling yourself expand. That energy comes down through your solar plexus, navel, your root chakra at the base of your spine where it connects to that taproot of energy. And now that central warrior is united and connected to her source, the earth and pure source energy, sun, God, whatever that is. And allow yourself to sit in this beautiful energy. That's you. Allow yourself to feel that line. Your own line. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into your space.
It took me a moment to get out of my zone.
You too.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. And that's our innermost being wants to be nurtured. And that innermost being ignites that part of us. That's that sensual, sexual, erotic part of us that is the feminine. And as we go into our discussion later today, I'll share more about my experience with that.
I love it. Thank you for holding that space, my friend. Thank you. So I was thinking about this, coming into today and looking at this opening ceremony, and I already feel a calm. And I see that we have people on our live group over here at the Fresh Inspiration Show public group also. So I feel this calm that sometimes is hard to bring in. Carolyn C.J. Jones, thank you for doing the opening space. I'm just rotating now, making sure that we have, so everybody can see. Carolyn, you helped with starting to open up that space, and you opened up a big spot there. I got to feel the yin and the yang. The feelings of the good things I'm doing for myself and the things that I can work on. That's exactly what this day is about. Denise B. Shad just took us through this beautiful, motivational, deep into the sensual space and being able to feel that breath, that space into love. And both ladies were able to do that, but they're experts in their own area. What's wonderful about bringing these experts together is that it helps us grow. Sometimes we only have one coach or mentor, or we look for things like this within our community to make sure that we keep our motivation going. There's so many mentors out there, and it gives you opportunity, my friends, to see what kind of tastes that you enjoy. So you're going to go into the Fresh Inspiration Show public group, or you're going to meet us on Zoom, because this is going live in a few different groups. Where I'm going to be able to see your comments is if you go into that group.